The night my father died, he took a secret with him. At least that is what everyone believed. But secrets do not die. They wait. And families are where they hide best. My name is Daniel Carter. And this is the story of how I discovered that love, loyalty, and blood do not always mean the same thing. Before this story pulls you in deeper, remember this. If you believe family stories hide the darkest truths, stay with me till the end. And if you want more real suspense stories like this, make sure you follow and support this channel. Your support keeps stories like mine alive. The night began with rain. Heavy, unforgiving rain that soaked the streets of Oregon like it wanted to wash the past away. I was driving back to my childhood home after 15 years. 15 years since I ran from that house. 15 years since I promised myself I would never return. But death has a way of breaking promises. My father, Robert Carter, was found dead in his study. Police said heart attack. No signs of struggle. No forced entry. An easy ending for a complicated man. As I parked in the driveway, the house looked smaller than I remembered. The white paint was peeling. The porch light flickered like it was unsure whether to welcome me or warn me. Inside, the smell of old wood and memories hit me hard. My mother, Linda Carter, stood near the staircase. Her face was pale. Her eyes empty. She did not cry when she saw me. "You finally came, Daniel," she said quietly. I did not hug her. I did not know how. Behind her stood my younger brother, Michael. Same sharp jaw. Same cold eyes. Except his eyes held something new. Fear. The house was silent in a way only homes of broken families are. I followed them into the study. That room haunted my childhood. It was where my father locked himself away. Where arguments ended. Where questions were never answered. Robert Carter lay on the couch, covered with a white sheet. Even in death he looked distant. The police officer spoke in a calm, rehearsed tone. No signs of foul play. Stress-related heart failure. Time of death approximately 11:40 p.m. I nodded without listening. Because something felt wrong. Very wrong. As the officer left, Michael cleared his throat. "We should talk about the will." Already I thought. My mother looked away. "Your father changed it recently," she said. That was the first crack. My father never changed anything. He controlled everything. We sat around the dining table like strangers pretending to be family. Michael spoke first. "The house goes to me. The savings account too." I raised my head slowly. "And me?" Michael swallowed. "You get nothing." The room felt colder. My mother did not argue. She just whispered, it was his decision. Something burned inside my chest. I left this family with nothing. And now even my return cost me dignity. Later that night, I could not sleep. The house creaked like it was breathing. I walked back into the study. The desk was untouched. Everything too neat. My father was many things, but neat was not one of them. I opened drawers. Empty. Empty. Locked. One drawer resisted. I forced it open. Inside was a small brown envelope. No name. Just my handwriting. Daniel. My hands shook. Inside was a key. And a folded note. "If you are reading this, it means I am dead. And it means you finally came back. Do not trust anyone in this house. Not even your brother. Especially not your brother." The air left my lungs. I read the note again. "Your mother knows part of the truth. Michael knows more than he should. The key opens the storage unit on Highway 9. Unit 317. Everything I hid is there. I am sorry for what I did to you." I collapsed into the chair. My father was dead, but he was still controlling my life. The next morning, I drove to the storage facility. It smelled like rust and secrets. Unit 317 was at the far end. The key fit perfectly. Inside were boxes, files, old tapes, photographs, and one locked metal case. I opened a box labeled 2003, the year I left. Inside was a school report. My name, Daniel Carter. Next to it, a birth certificate. But it was not mine. It was Michael's. And under father's name, it did not say Robert Carter. It said Thomas Hale. My heart started racing. Thomas Hale was my father's business partner. The man who vanished 20 years ago. I dug deeper. Photos of my mother with Thomas. Too close to be innocent. Another file. Legal documents. Adoption papers. Michael Carter. Adopted. My brother was not my father's biological son. But then another document froze me. Daniel Carter. Adopted. My blood ran cold. Neither of us were his real sons. I sat on the floor, surrounded by lies. All my life, I fought for approval from a man who was not even my real father. The tapes were next. Old cassette recordings. I played one. My father's voice filled the unit. Linda does not know the full truth. Michael was never meant to find out. Daniel was always stronger. That is why I pushed him away. If Michael ever learns who his real father is, everything will collapse. My phone rang. Michael. I ignored it. Then another call. My mother. I answered. Where are you, Daniel? She asked nervously. I needed answers. I drove back home. When I entered, voices stopped. Michael stood in the living room. He was holding something. The metal case. Where did you get that? I demanded. He smiled. Same place you did. So you know, he said. I know enough. He opened the case. Inside was a gun. And a folder. The truth, Michael said softly, is that father did not die of a heart attack. The room spun. You killed him? I whispered. No, he said calmly. You did. I laughed in disbelief. I was not even here. Michael stepped closer. Not physically, but legally. He pulled out a document. A confession. Signed. By me. Forged perfectly. Father planned this, Michael continued. He wanted you to return. He wanted you blamed. Because only one of us could inherit everything. My mother screamed. Michael turned to her. You always protected him. Now protect yourself. Police sirens echoed outside. I realized then. The house was never a home. It was a trap. And my father built it long before his death. If this story is making your heart race, stay with me. What comes next changes everything. Because the real secret was not adoption. It was why we were chosen. Police lights painted the walls red and blue. I stood frozen in my childhood living room while my brother smiled like he had already won. Michael raised his hands calmly as officers entered. Officer, he said, my brother is in shock. He just returned after years. He needs help. I tried to speak. The words would not come. One officer approached me. Sir, where were you last night at 11:40? I looked at my mother. She would save me. She always did. But she did not look at me. She looked at the floor. I understood then. Silence can be louder than lies. I was taken in for questioning. Hours passed. They showed me the forged confession. My signature copied perfectly. They told me about fingerprints. They told me about motive, anger, inheritance, estrangement. Every lie fit too well. Michael had learned from the best. Our father. I sat alone in the interrogation room and finally cried. Not because I was scared of prison, but because my entire life had been a performance written by someone else. Late that night, a public defender entered. Daniel Carter, right? I nodded. She leaned closer. Someone dropped something at the front desk for you. She slid a small recorder across the table. No name. Just one word written on it. Listen. Back in my holding cell, I played it. My father's voice returned like a ghost. If you are hearing this, Daniel, then Michael has made his move. I failed both of you. But you deserve the truth. Michael is not evil by birth. He was shaped. So was I. The truth is not about blood. It is about purpose. I closed my eyes. He continued. 25 years ago, a private organization funded my research. They wanted to know one thing. Is violence inherited or taught? They needed children. Children with unstable genetic backgrounds. Children who could be shaped. Michael's real father, Thomas Hale, was violent. So was yours. I opened my eyes in horror. Your biological father died in prison, convicted of killing his own brother. I adopted you to see if love could break that cycle. Michael was raised with control. You were raised with distance. Two methods. One outcome. I was testing you. I stopped the recording. My stomach twisted. My father did not raise sons. He raised experiments. The next morning, my mother requested to see me. Her face was older now. Smaller. I never wanted this, she whispered. Then why did you let it happen? I asked. Because he owned us, she cried. The money. The research. The threats. Thomas tried to stop him. Your father killed Thomas. It was not a disappearance. It was murder. The ground beneath me shattered. Michael knew? I asked. She nodded. He found out years ago. That is when he changed. I realized the truth too late. My brother was not greedy. He was angry. He was raised to believe he was broken by blood, and then taught that I was the favored one. They released me temporarily, due to lack of physical evidence. Michael walked free. The trial began months later. The courtroom was packed. Media everywhere. Two brothers. One dead father. A legacy of lies. Michael testified calmly. Daniel always hated father, he said. He threatened him before. He wanted the house. He wanted everything. Then it was my turn. I told them everything. The research. The recordings. The experiments. The murder of Thomas Hale. The judge listened silently. The jury watched Michael. For the first time, I saw cracks. Then the prosecutor played a final tape. One I had not heard. My father's voice again. If Michael is hearing this, then you failed, son. You let your anger control you. Daniel was always stronger. Michael snapped. He stood up screaming. He used us. He ruined us. He deserved to die. The courtroom froze. Confession. Clear. Unfiltered. Michael collapsed into tears. The verdict came fast. Guilty. Life sentence. As they took him away, he looked at me. Not with hate. With relief. Months later, the house was sold. The research was exposed. My father's name erased from honors and awards. My mother moved away. She sends letters sometimes. I never reply. I visit Michael once a year. We sit in silence. Two men shaped by one monster. One question always remains. Could things have been different? Before I leave each time, I tell him the same thing. We are not our fathers. Blood does not decide who we become. Choice does. If this story made you feel something, if it made you question family, truth, and identity, then stay connected. Support stories that reveal what people hide behind closed doors. Because sometimes the most dangerous place is not the outside world. It is home.
I sat by the old river, closed my eyes, and let myself feel. Family is not always blood, it's love, forgiveness, and the moments we choose to care. For the first time in years, I smiled, and that was enough.